Welcome to Kirkiston for motorbike racing and the Neil Robinson Memorial Meeting. A meeting organised as a tribute to the young Ballymena rider who was killed so tragically in Scarborough last year. But what a tribute it promises to be. On the grid, some very good names. Over here, of course, the biggest name is Joey Dunlop. The Honda rider may have just lost his Formula One world title, but Joey's still #1 with the fans. There's Suzuki rider Paul Idden, who underlined all of his potential this season by winning 2 rounds of the Formula One World Championship Series. Also from Suzuki, there's Kenny Irons, who this year has been concentrating on the Grand Prix scene. A local who could outshine them all today is Alan Irwin, a short-circuit specialist. Only last week on this course, he won the Embassy Championship for a 3rd time. Dubliner Eddie Laycock is another man to watch. He's had a very good season, which includes a win in an Isle of Man TT. And another local to look out for is Gary Kahn, the Antrim rider who's currently leading the British 250cc Championship. So a bit of quality there, and as they say, there's more. All right, let's tell you what you'll be able to see over the next couple of hours or so. In a moment, we kick off with the first leg of the big one, good racing at its very best. Talking about the very best, Roger Marshall will be helping me throughout the afternoon. Roger, welcome. I can almost hear the viewers asking the first question. Why are you working for television and not astride the big Suzuki?
Well, there's nobody more disappointing than me. I've got a lot of fans over here, and I'm very disappointed I'm not riding. But the way things worked out this year with Suzuki, they decided to take me off the World Championship and do the British meetings, and they wanted me to win 2 of the titles. I've already done that now, but they decided that my bikes must go to the Birmingham show. But I've still come over to give the meeting a bit of support, and I'm in a more nervous job than ever now on the television.
Right, we're disappointed you're not racing, but there's still a good lineup for the big one. Who can go well?
Well, I was here yesterday watching practice, and obviously the favourite is Alan Irwin and Joey Dunlop. But Paul Idden, after a World Championship trail this year, is on top form. Jamie Whitten's come good just at the right time. We've got Ray Swan and Kenny Irons and hello, Eddie Laycock from Dublin, and 1 or 2 other guys will be in there. I think we're in for a great day, and I think the racing's going to be absolutely terrific, but very close.
I go along with that. Right, let's get the show on the road. Part 1 of the Neil Robinson race. In the commentary box today, I'm glad to say a man who was always very popular over here, the evergreen Mick Grant. But pick it up first, our race commentator, Alan Drysdale.
And thank you, Jackie. Now, you join us just as the riders are making their way down into the hairpin on their 2nd warm-up lap, getting ready for the start of the first leg of this Neil Robinson Memorial Trophy race. The race will be decided over 2 legs. The winner of each race scores 15 points, 2nd scores 12, 3rd 10, 4th 8, 5th 6, 6th then to 10th positions go 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 respectively. The overall winner of the race at the end of the 2 legs will be the rider who has scored the most points, and he must also score in both legs. The riders then just coming up onto the grid there at the moment. Eddie Laycock has moved forward onto it. Joey Dunlop there I noticed coming in as well. Joey Dunlop, who actually was a little bit slow in getting away, but there he is, number 3, Joey Dunlop. Alongside him, number 15. Number 2 there on the very inside is Alan Irwin. Alongside him, number 15, and that is Mark Farmer. Then number 8 there behind him, Kenny Irons, one of the top English riders across here for this event on the Suzuki. Alongside him, number 69, Jamie Whitham, and Jamie Whitham is sitting alongside 24, Stephen Cowell from Bangor, and then we have 21, Paul Idden there, getting ready then for the off. A few riders still coming in there at the tail of the grid, but very soon they'll be underway. For 12 laps is the distance in this first leg. So, looking at the riders there on the grid, you can see the traffic marshal coming in the match, just taking it off they go. A few wheelies there, but get down into the first corner. And it's number 2, Alan Irwin, he's coming round, but it's Paul Idden who has gone out in front. It looks like Idden, followed by Alan Irwin as they go down through. Now into Colonial 1 for the first time. Into this tricky right-hander coming through. 21, Paul Idden on the Formula One Suzuki, leads from number 2. Alan Irwin, the local star here in the short circuit scene on the Honda. Now into this long right-hander at Fisherman's. Idden leads from Irwin. Kenny Irons it is in 3rd position, and Joey Dunlop in 4th. That's the order as they go to chicane. A good start, Mick Grant.
It's going to be quite an interesting race, really competing with the Grand Prix machine of Alan Irwin and the F1 machines of people like Eden and young Whittam. You can see at the minute that the 500 Honda's a wee bit quicker.
And at the hairpin there, Dunlop going through. Eden outbreak by Irwin, but Alan Irwin, number 2, is in the lead. Number 3, Dunlop, is in second position as they come up to complete the opening lap. So Dunlop in second, Irwin leads, and Kenny Irons are sneaking up the inside of it as they go for this left-hander, and Kenny Irons is through into third position. Paul Eden now in fourth spot.
I think Joey Dunlop's going to be the guy to watch. He's been very, very steady in practice. I think he's playing his cards very close to his chest.
The two 500 Honda machines then, based on the Grand Prix machinery out in front at the moment. Alan Irwin, who had a hat-trick of wins at the circuit here last weekend, regarded by everyone virtually as the top short circuit rider in Ireland. But Joey Dunlop, keen of the roads and obviously keen to prove that he could be keen of this short circuit here this afternoon. Dunlop is second, Irons is third, 21 Paul Eden is fourth, and it's Jamie Whittam on the other Suzuki in fifth position. To the hairpin they come for the second time, and let's watch them again on the brakes. And an overshoot there, and so that looked like Kenny Irons.
In fact, Kenny Irons has been braking very hard there all through the qualifying heats. So much so that I'm not really surprised that that's actually happened.
So Kenny there, a long way overshot, but Dunlop now is closing in on Irwin. The two Hondas out in front, down the Gallo to this right-hander at Colonial. Alan Irwin drops down the gears, cranks over into the right-hander. Joey Dunlop still there in second position, number 3. There'll be a little bit of a gap now with Kenny Irons having disappeared out of third position to hairpin. Irwin speaks it through on the McManus Racing Honda. Dunlop and the Gemini Honda closing in on as they come down to the chicane. Hard on the brakes again. Right and left. And it's Robert Dunlop who's up into third. Paul Eden is in fourth position. So the Dunlop brothers now in second and third.
I see race 1 is there in about 5th place. And, whoops, a bit of excitement there, eh?
Yeah, Alan Irwin certainly tried very hard on the brakes there. Dunlop.
Race 1 in actual fact is the other Honda guy. We've got the 2 Grand Prix Hondas in the front, then a couple of 4-strokes, and then we've got race 1 and the other 500 Honda. And I suggest it might be him that may come through and challenge these 2 at the front.
Well, Irwin then cranks it into this right-hander, the first of the Colonial 2 corners. First right, then the left that he goes through now. Dunlop through behind him. Now into this long, tricky right-hander at Fisherman's. An almost unending corner, goes round and round and round. Cranks hard over all the way. Then the little shot burst down to the chicane. Dunlop tried to close in here last time. He closes in again. So Irwin last time looked a little bit suspect on the braking at the hairpin. Let's see what happens this time. He has a quick glance over his shoulder. Dunlop comes out alongside. Can Dunlop make it? He powers past. Dunlop powers past into the lead, and Irwin comes up the inside again. When is Irwin going to be able to turn in? Superb braking there from Alan Irwin. What about that, Mick Grant?
Well, at this early stage, I'm surprised that Joey's showing his hand. He's an old master at the game and he's very cagey. I thought it just left it a wee bit late in the race to actually have a go.
Well, that's now 4 laps of the 12 completed, and there's a follower there, number 204. That's Raymond Campbell from Mahackle, seems to have dropped it off there at the hairpin, but now back with the leaders. And it's still Alan Irwin in front. Joey Dunlop in second position. So John Dunlop showed his hand last time at the hairpin. Will he show it again? Certainly both machines have been snaking a little bit onto the brake, and the yellow flag out there, that's the signal that a rider has fallen on the exit from Fisherman's. But now at the chicane, coming through. The first rider then, Alan Irwin, followed by Joey Dunlop, and then I think it's Robert Dunlop in third, but to watch them in the brakes through the hairpin, over to Mick Grant.
Joey seems to be getting more drive out of the chicane, and that's where last time he got the advantage. It doesn't seem to work quite as well this time. I think after that manoeuvre, Joey may just well sit back and wait maybe till 2 or 3 laps from the end.
Irwin then coming through, leading from the front. Cranks it through this left-hander. The fastest corner on the course here at Kirkerson. The riders take it virtually flat out. Dunlop through there in second. Dunlop closing on the brakes. The first 2 then go through. 5 laps have now been completed. They're out on the 6th lap. Into the long right-hander again at Fisherman's. Working all the way. Alan Irwin moves across the other side of his machine. Now the sprint down to the chicane. The marshals have attended to the incident we had there last time as they come through. And third position still looking to be Robert Dunlop.
Apparently Paul Eden's actually fallen off down at Devon's Bend.
So one of the fancied Englishmen out, but Dunlop going for the lead as they approach the hairpin, but again Irwin in the back wheels pattering.
I'll tell you what, Alan Irwin is absolutely determined. Every time Joey looks like coming past, he just lets go the brakes and goes a wee bit further. And really, I don't think Joey may just use that to his advantage.
So the first three then coming through at the end of 6 laps. First Alan Irwin, second Joey Dunlop, third Robert Dunlop. Those three speaking through, and Dunlop there almost up alongside, but Irwin again on the brakes as he heads down into Colonial through there. Very, very fast. And Dunlop, certainly as Mick says, seems to be able to close up on the brakes going into the corner, but Alan Irwin then seems to ease a little bit and get it away.
We've got a race in his hands there, and at this moment in time, you'd be a foolish man if you put money on either rider.
And Mick, the interesting thing is that number 17, Robert Dunlop, is actually closing in on the pair of them. It looks like Kenny Irons back there in 4th position, but Robert Dunlop there on the O'Kane Suzuki really challenging, and now the battle goes again. Dunlop through into the lead. Can Irwin catch him this time on the brakes? Not this time. Dunlop on the Gemini Honda, but he runs wide and Irwin's through. Joey Dunlop runs wide. Alan Irwin goes through, and Robert Dunlop coming into the frame now as well. Coming up to the through and complete 7 laps. Superb stuff. Down through the left-hander at Denner's Dip. But through there about well over 120 miles per hour. Now braking hard for this tricky, almost bottom gear right-hander at Colonial.
I think Robert could just steal the show here. He's come up and caught them, so he's obviously going at a quicker pace. And if he can just keep it going and get past them, it could just be a bit of a surprise for them. I think the last lap, Joey Maybe had a sign from the pit saying, get your finger out, Robert's catching up.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting, certainly, as the two in front have been having this ding-dong battle between themselves. Robert Dunlop there, the front wheel power in the air as he accelerates out of the chicane. And my goodness, the Suzuki certainly looks fast down the straight. Into the hairpin they come. Who's going to get it this time on the brakes? Irwin again, but look at Robert Dunlop closing in on Joey. So Joey looking as though his Honda just has the edge on braking. There's the 4th place rider coming through now. But the leader's going across the line. And my goodness, it's getting really close, and Dunlop through at the lead. Joey is through at the lead, and Robert Dunlop is going to go through into second. And there's still 3 there as they come out from behind the vans. But superb stuff. Dunlop's now 1 and 2. Joey leads, younger brother Robert in 2nd position.
You couldn't have better racing than this no matter where you sight in the world.
So here we have them, the 3 of them coming down again towards the hairpin. Robert Dunlop being caught there by Alan Irwin.
I think at this stage I'm prepared to put my money on that Dunlop's going to win it. I'm not quite sure which one though.
Well, it's certainly going to be a tricky one. Irwin sneaks his way back through into second there. Robert just had briefly ousted him on the way in. Down through they come. 9 laps then completed. So 3 laps left in this race. Joey Dunlop in the lead. Robert Dunlop, Alan Irwin, sorry, in 2nd position, and Robert Dunlop in 3rd.
Now Joey's in the front. He's obviously committed himself, and he's really got to go as quick as he possibly can the last 3 laps, and any mistake at all and Robert's going to be there.
So at this stage of the race, Mick, you reckon there's really no tactics other than go for it and hope to get it?
Joey's shown his hand, and he's got to go absolutely flat out now. He can't muck about.
Down to the hairpin then they come again for the 10th time.
I honestly think that if Joey just doesn't make any mistakes at all, he'll not be far away at this stage.
And here's Irwin again on the brakes. Every time at the hairpin, Alan Irwin looks to be able to come in much deeper on the brakes. Out of it they come, and Irwin's on the faster inside line, is he? No, Dunlop cuts across. Dunlop holds the line as they come down into the left-hander at Denner's Dip. Through there, their knees absolutely on the deck. So 5 times Formula 1 world champion, lost the title this year. Joey Dunlop back home with a vengeance to try and dethrone the short-circuit king. Alan Irwin, who's there behind him.
Joey's definitely not a thing left in reserve. He's absolutely on the limit.
Into the right-hander. Beautiful stuff there from Joey Dunlop as he comes down into this right-hander. Down they go to the hairpin. And will Alan Irwin this time catch him on the brakes? He's been faster on the braking every time, but Joey Dunlop may have something in reserve. Here comes Irwin, closing a little bit, but Dunlop is...
There's no way in the world he's going to get past him going around the outside. He's got to get up the inside if you're going to try a breaking manoeuvre like that.
And up the inside he comes, but can he hold the line for the next left-hander? No, it's going to be Dunlop again.
This is the last lap. You just saw the last lap.
Yeah, the last lap flag there is out, so they've 11 laps now completed in this 12-lap race.
At this stage, Joey must have his fingers crossed, his toes crossed, everything crossed.
Irwin there trying to play move to go around the outside. The two Hondas out in front. The Suzuki of Robert Dunlop in third position.
I think it's all going to be down to the braking at the end of the main straight. If Irwin's going to do it anyway, that's the place he's got to do it.
And there's a back marker there, David Griffith will be coming up to lap him shortly, and there's another one in there. They could get in the way at the hairpin.
That's just what Joey doesn't need at this stage, I'll tell you.
Down to the hairpin then they come for the last time, and Joey certainly has winded up there. He appears to have got away. Irwin is closing in, but Irwin's going straight on. He runs a little bit wide. In fact, they both run a little bit wide, and Robert Dunlop is through to second. Robert Dunlop is through to second. Up they come towards the line.
Yes.
At the line, number 3, Joey Dunlop gets the checkered flag. 17, Robert Dunlop finishes in second position, and Alan Irwin finishes in third. An absolutely superb race, Mick.
That was an absolute cracker. I mean, Irwin really, on the last lap into the hairpin there, he was far too far behind to make an impression, and really, he should have settled for second place. But he'll give him one thing, he did have a go.
He certainly gave us everything that we go, and so the result there, once again, first Joey Dunlop, second Robert Dunlop, and third Alan Irwin. Fantastic action, and we'll be back with some. So just looking now as the riders going through, but we'll be back.
As I said, it could be a good one. Your commentator, Alan Drysdale.
And the riders then coming down onto the line for the 250cc class will be over 10 laps of the circuit. The riders will be going off shortly for one warm-up lap, but on the front row of the grid there, number 30, Gary Cowan, the Irishman who has been campaigning in the Continental Grand Prix circuit this year, and also riding in England, and indeed leads the 250cc British Championship. So number 30, Gary Cowan there, reckoned to be one of the up-and-coming Irishmen and probably a favourite for this race. Alongside him there, number 1, Jeff McConnell, then number 7, Eddie Laycock. So the riders there, the front row of the grid just heading off. The start being staggered there just so there's no incidents on this warm-up lap. Swinging through the left-hander there. They're the third group of riders getting away. The starter there just walking his way back through them. But here, coming through now on this warm-up lap, number 1, Jeff McConnell in front. Alongside him there, number 215, Donny McLeod. So Donny McLeod there, one of the fancied runners, another Grand Prix contender. Just leading through there, Jeff McConnell. Gary Cowan there having a leisurely sneak around at the back of that, running in. Well, he's up now back into third position at the moment. But remember, this is only a warm-up lap. The purpose of the warm-up laps is the riders hope to get their tyres, and in conditions such as we have today, they will all be on slick tyres, although the course is absolutely dry, so one would be supposed that they will all be out there on the slick tyres. That's the one with no treads, and it is very essential that they get those warmed up before getting up to full racing speeds. So the rest of the field coming through, but now the riders coming up onto the line. The real fancied runners there, Jeff McConnell, number 1, a man who's been going very well in the local short circuit scene over this past 2 years. Just looking at the riders coming up there from the back, because as soon as they come into view, we will see the rider in the white overalls. That will be the travelling marshal to signal that the course is clear, and immediately he returns, we'll be getting the race underway. So the officials there just making the usual last-minute check that everyone is out there who should be, and that no one is out there who should not be. It looks as though there's the travelling marshal as I spoke. He is coming round. He will give the nod, as it were, to the clock of the course that he can get this 250cc race underway. It'll be over 10 laps of this circuit, and we should have some really tremendous action. The 250 class reckoned to be one of the best classes in racing. The starter there going off. A little bit of activity in the middle of the grid there, but it looks as though we're ready for the off. The riders looking over the right there, these starters. It's a little bit untimely, but off they go. So the start's away and now down into this first left-hander, and they all sweep through there. Very, very tight through that corner for the first time. Down, there's Gary Cowan shooting up through on the brakes, and Cowan goes straight into the lead. Gary Cowan straight into the lead at the first corner. Number 30 going through, followed there by number 110. So Cowan coming through. Down to the chicane for the first time. Wolseley Coulter it is, 118 in second position. So Wolseley Coulter there in second as they come down the strip for the opening lap. Into the hairpin, and that's Coulter who's making a move down the outside to try and get it through. Donny McLeod there, it looks like in fourth position, and there's a rider who's unfortunately dropped it, but looks as though he's away, and it's Ollie McCardle in fact. But now coming up to complete this opening lap, number 30, Gary Cowan goes across the line in the lead, sweeps down through the left-hander. Second position is 118, Wolseley Coulter. Behind Wolseley Coulter, it's Donny McLeod. And Donny McLeod was almost up alongside, but as I speak, Donny McLeod is out break for that third position. So Cowan leads through the left-hander. Coulter in second behind him. Gary Cowan on the Honda. The East-West transport machine flicks it into this long right-hander at Fisherman's. And there's Pottery in motion as Gary Cowan comes through there. Wolseley Coulter behind him in second position. Down to the chicane. They flick right, then they flick left, and then right again on the way out. And very, very close together there, right down that field. But now the leading quartet, and McLeod's making his move as they come down to the hairpin. McLeod is through at the second. Can he get through into the lead? No, Gary Cowan looks very impressive in braking for the hairpin. So out of it they come. Up now to complete the second lap. Eddie Laycock there just going through amongst that bunch. But the first four coming through. Gary Cowan followed by Donny McLeod. Behind Donny McLeod then in third position it is Wolseley Coulter. Cowan there trying to go through, and Cowan back through. So Cowan back through into the lead as they go through Colonial 1, the right-hander, into Colonial 2, the left-hander. So as close as that, there you have them, the three of them virtually in frame. Gary Cowan, Donny McLeod. The Donny McLeod there, number 215 going through, followed by 118, Wolseley Coulter. So down to the hairpin, McLeod again makes his move. Donny McLeod up through, but listen, Gary Cowan, the back wheel there, right off the deck as he goes through. That was impressive braking from Cowan. Through now to complete 3 laps. Gary Cowan leads it. Donny McLeod is second, 111. Wolseley Coulter is in third position. And again, Cowan through. So each of the past 2 laps, Donny McLeod has taken over the lead, gone through into this right-hander. The 2 Grand Prix contenders out in front. Gary Cowan, the one there is Donny McLeod. So the first 2 of their riders going out of the chicane. Down the long back straight once again. And Donny McLeod is coming out. Donny McLeod, can he hold Cowan on the brakes? Last time around, Cowan, the back wheel was in the air as he braked. But Donny McLeod's very, very fast into the hairpin this time. Donny McLeod leads. Coming through to complete 4 laps. 4 of the 10 laps then completed as they come up past the finishing line. Eddie Laycock coming into the picture there in 5th position. So this race really hotting up as we go towards the halfway stage. Donny McLeod out in front. Second position, Gary Cowan on the Honda. The first 2 then going through. So the first 2 then coming down towards the chicane. Donny McLeod is in front, looking now for the battle for 3rd and 4th. And in 3rd position is still Wolseley Coulter, and in 4th position now it is 210, and that is George Higginson in the Honda. So George Higginson, the man who has been in there from the start, we had a little bit of difficulty picking it up, but that's who it is. George Higginson from Bosley up at Newtownabbey, 2-1-0 in 4th position, but 2-1-5. Donny McLeod leads as they come up to complete 5 laps. Number 30, Gary Cowan in 2nd position. So McLeod crosses the line, flicks through the left-hander, his knee virtually on the tarmac there as he goes through. Then we have this tremendous battle for 3rd position between Wolseley Coulter, George Higginson and Eddie Laycock. But what a battle here at the head of the field. Gary Cowan again trying to get back on terms with Donny McLeod, and he's up the inside, and can he get through? Oh, Gary Cowan threw caution to the winds there as he went through that right-hander. But my goodness, that was some move from Gary Cowan down into the chicane. Donny McLeod then relegated back to 2nd position. McLeod has a quick glance, but look, McLeod's out alongside. His machine seems faster as they come down to the hairpin. Going to be a battle of nerves. Who breaks latest into the hairpin? And it's Cowan. Superb stuff from Gary Cowan, and look at that back wheel talking about it actually stepped right out of line their machine. So no doubt about it that number 30, Gary Cowan, this 23-year-old from Antrim, is riding absolutely on the limit. Cowan goes across the line now. 6 laps completed for him. 2-1-5. Donny McLeod in 2nd position. So the Irishman leads the Scotsman. That's the order here at the moment. And McLeod getting a little bit boxed in behind the back marker there, and that could be all the break that Gary Cowan needs to get through. So Eddie Laycock, I've just noticed, has gone up to 3rd position, and Laycock is really closing. That's number 7, Eddie Laycock, the Flying Dubliner, is up into 3rd position. But the leading two coming down towards the chicane. Number 30, Gary Cowan in front. Donny McLeod still in 2nd. So looking now as they come through. 6 laps, remember, have completed. Just recapping on the order. In the lead is Gary Cowan. 2nd is number 215, Donny McLeod. 3rd is number 7, Eddie Laycock. 4th is number 118, Wolseley Coulter. And 5th is number 210, George Higginson. That's the order at the end of lap 6. Now coming through to complete their 7th lap. Number 30, Gary Cowan crosses the line now. Behind him, 215, Donny McLeod. Number 30, Gary Cowan, then the race leader goes down towards Colonial 1, drops it down the gears. Cowan then comes through, flicks it through the left-hander. 215, Donny McLeod behind him in 2nd position. Donny McLeod, who led for a couple of laps, but Gary Cowan, who has got his nose back in front. Down to the chicane they come. So number 30 there, Gary Cowan sneaks out of the chicane in the lead. Donny McLeod comes up alongside him. And Ian Newton there has come up into 4th position, number 236. Just looking at my timekeepers here beside me, confirming that Ian Newton is sneaking up through the field here as well. Coming through now to complete 8 laps in this 250cc race. And here comes number 30, Gary Cowan, the race leader, comes across the line to complete 8 laps. In the lead, number 215, Donny McLeod behind him in 2nd position. And here's the 2nd place rider, number 215, Donny McLeod, coming into the right-hander at Colonial. Gary Cowan through just, and in fact it's Donny McLeod's in the lead.
He's a leader, 215.
Donny McLeod, 215, is the leader. Number 30, Gary Cowan there, got through the right-hander, is in 2nd position. Gary Cowan comes through, but he's now relegated to 2nd position. And here's the race leader coming into the chicane, number 215, Donny McLeod. Number 30, Gary Cowan in 2nd position.
Alan, you're looking for 215.
So number 30, Gary Cowan in 2nd position. The race leader then, 215, Donny McLeod, heading down to the hairpin. Donny McLeod heading down into the hairpin, hard on the brakes now. And Donny McLeod there just gone out of the hairpin as number 30, Gary Cowan comes through it, but here he comes now, the race leader, 215, Donny McLeod, goes through to complete 9 laps. The last lap signal there being given to number 215, Donny McLeod, in the lead. Number 30, Gary Cowan coming through in 2nd position. So now we're looking at Colonial. There he is, the race leader, on his last lap at this 250cc race. Donny McLeod on the blue machine, hanging off the side of it there as he goes through this long right-hander at Fisherman's. Accelerates hard, down to towards the chicane. A couple of back markers are going to come into his side. There's Gary Cowan just coming into the picture behind him in 2nd position. Now they come to the hairpin for the last time, but Gary Cowan looks as though he's going to have to give best to number 215, Donny McLeod this time. Certainly no way that Cowan is going to catch him this time at the hairpin. Out of the hairpin he comes, 215, Donny McLeod accelerating, the machine snaking all the way, but the checkered flag is being readied, and it's a win in the 250cc race for number 215, Donny McLeod. In second position, it is number 30, Gary Cowan. So in second position, number 30, Gary Cowan, and looking now for the third rider to come through across the line, and in third position it's number 236, Ian Newton, finishes third on the last lap. So that's number 236, Ian Newton, comes up to third position on the last lap in another superb 250cc race. The riders coming through there. So just to recap then on the result, a win for Donny McLeod. In second position, Gary Cowan from Antrim, and in third, another English visitor, Ian Newton.
Well, we said it would be a good
Thank
race.
you, Jackie. And they're on the warm-up lap. A lot of boys there getting the tyres warm once again. There's Alan Irwin in shot. Unfortunately, as you said, Paul Idden missing this one out, but it's Irwin there leads them. A big wheelie there from Kenny Irons as they come into the chicane on the warm-up lap. Mark Farmer in there as well, followed by Stephen Cull, Joey Dunlop, Alan Irwin and Robert Dunlop. And how those Dunlop boys dominated the first leg of the Neil Robinson, and it could be a repeat. Mick Grant, do you see this being a repeat of the Neil Robinson leg?
I wasn't quite sure whether the first strokes and the first stroke were quite decent. Yes, in actual fact, two strokes do seem better than they were. And I must admit, although I might see the people that were quite good as
So we're back on, coming down in onto the start and finish line. So it's Kenny Irons in there, Alan Irwin, Stephen Cull, Mark Farmer, and right beside Mark Farmer there, number 55. And that man is Roy Hutchison, one of the local boys.
Kenny Irons, who's been campaigning on this Stucky in the Grand Prix zone, he's just put a hybrid together for this particular race.
And he,
And in actual fact, it's been absolutely standard with the CC engine, and it's not been quite interesting.
so it's Alan Irwin in pole position, right beside him, Joey Dunlop, then number 24, Stephen Cull, he's in there as well. So it's all eyes on the lights. This is a light start. Light start, and it's off they go. And it's Mark Farmer who takes them off the line, down into Deaders for the first time. And it's Mark Farmer who leads. Alan Irwin in second place, Stephen Cull in third. They're on the brakes for the first time.
That's a bit of riding start a little bit. I think that one of the problems the rider was saying is that the actual starting lights, the green lights, are a bit too near the front row, and you can't really see. If the guys from the second row start creeping forward, it's very hard for the guys who can't see the green light.
So coming down into the chicane on the opening lap, it's Mark Farmer, Alan Irwin, Stephen Cull, and a real whoopsie there from one of the Suzuki boys. It looked like Jimmy Whittam, I wasn't quite sure, but it's down the back straight. It's Farmer, then it's Irwin, then it's Cull. On the brakes for the first time, Irwin closes right up. Then Cull in third place, and it was Whittam in fourth spot. But coming to the end of lap one, it's Mark Farmer leads. Alan Irwin, second spot. Stephen Cull cranks it in around the left-hander where Paul Idden bit the dust in the Neil Robinson race. But it's Farmer and Irwin. Tremendous stuff. Flicking it right and left. Back onto the back straight for the second time. So the two strokes there, as Mick was saying, leading them round the right, out into Colonial, through into Fisherman's, down into the chicane again. It's Mark Farmer leads. George Farlow, Joey Dunlop, Jeff McConnell, the boys in behind, Robert Dunlop, but it's Mark Farmer and Alan Irwin, the men making the running. Irwin closing up on the brakes now. He's on the outside, Farmer on the inside. Irwin had the tighter line coming in, so he loses out slightly there, but it's Mark Farmer, the man from Portadown, who sets the pace. Alan Irwin having a little bite as they go across the line, but it's still Farmer, Alan Irwin in second spot on the McManus Honda. So it's Suzuki in the front, Honda in second spot. So Alan Irwin in Colonial 1, closing up on the braking. This is the riders' part of the circuit. No, Alan Irwin moving the feet. So it's Farmer, Irwin, Cull and Whitham. Farmer, Irwin, Cull and Whitham into the chicane again. On the third lap, Stephen Cull still sitting in there. And Mark Farmer, the leader's in trouble. The leader in trouble, he has his hand in the air. Down the back straight, we have a new leader. Alan Irwin should be the man. Is he in trouble too? There he is in the hairpin. Alan Irwin leads. Stephen Cull now in second spot. Make a change of pattern.
That's right. Joey seems to be is in the fourth place, I believe, at the minute, and I think the pace is so hard, it's just going to take a bit to catch up at this stage.
So Mark Farmer, the man who went out down the back straight, gives us a new leader in Alan Irwin on the Honda. He's on the Honda now. He's through the chicane. Cull sitting there in behind waiting to have a bite at the cherry if he can. But it's this man, Alan Irwin, the man who has dominated the unlimited class here all season.
I think race 1 could just maybe be more in the picture. And in the first race, he got a very bad start, and oh, young Whitham's out. What a shame.
Another runner goes out there. Jimmy Whitham puts his hand in the air, so Alan Irwin leads. Up into second place is now number 4, race 1, with Stephen Cull in third place. So the man who's picking up most of the ground is number 4, race 1. He's the man to watch. Joey goes through there, but it's Irwin, Swan and Cull, the first 3. So the first 3 in debtors.
Race 1 this year, through the sort of series of Unlimited British Championships, had a great series. He's chased Roger Marshall nearly all the way around, and I think in this race he might just show the form that he's been showing all year.
So it's Alan Irwin once again. We pick him up, very comfortable looking there on the McManus Honda. He swings it right, down towards the chicane, very tight place. But this man, race 1, is certainly closing the gap. Cull still holding on to third place, and in fourth, it's Joey Dunlop. So it's pulling away there, race 1, the man who is really powering it on lap 4. It's Irwin, Swan, Cull, Joey Dunlop. Those are the first 4. Irwin on the brakes in the hairpin. He swings it in very tight to the curb, leaving race 1 no way through on the inside. Race 1 swinging 2 steps out there as he goes up the gearbox, putting on the power, trying to get on terms with Alan Irwin, who's now being caught by the back markers, making a difference to him there as they go through debtors. But it's still Alan Irwin who leads in second spot. It's still number 4, race 1, making his Kirkuson debut here this year. Irwin through Colonial 1 and 2 on the McManus Honda, a man who has been Embassy champion 3 times, the only man ever to do that. So he's round the right-hander, across to Fisherman's, down round it.
I think that race 1, I believe, he's just starting to catch up a wee bit. And you can see the way he's sort of coming out of there, and the last lap popping wheelies. He's obviously quite confident, and at the minute I'm going to put money on Swanee.
And it looks as if he's closing the gap ever so slightly every lap as he goes, but it's still Alan Irwin in lead. Race 1, we'll watch him on the brakes into the hairpin.
These guys are both an identical machine, so it really is down to the riders.
And that it would look as if Irwin has the better handling machine. Every time that Swan comes out of the hairpin there, we have the twitches that's showing maybe the setting up isn't just 100%.
That's correct, Harold, and I think that obviously people from overseas coming up for the first time, but it's a slight disadvantage, but at the end of the day I think it's going to be the best man that wins.
Well, Alan Irwin on the brakes once again. Notice he sets his foot forward there to put the brakes on. He cranks it in right down into the chicane once again, but race 1 squeezes through past the back marker, but it's still Alan Irwin using every inch of the road. They're down the back straight. This is where the power and the speed counts. Thanks.
Yeah, but I think that what Swanee needs now is for Irwin just to get caught in one back marker, to get just about another sort of 30 yards nearer, and then I think you'll really see some action.
Out to come out of the hairpin once again. Picking up the third place man, looks like Joey Dunlop with Stephen Cull in fourth place, but it's Irwin in the lead. Across the line he goes, sits up slightly as he goes into Deaders. Ray Swan slightly different. He keeps the head down there, keeps the power on, trying to make up ground on the fastest part of the circuit. Irwin now in Colonial 1. He's swinging through there right and left, and there's the second place man, Ray Swan, trying to bite away at the lead that Alan Irwin has in this unlimited race. Dunlop in third place, but Alan Irwin now getting back there. As Mick said, that could be make the difference. So, but he's still in there on the back wheel of Alan Irwin as they come out of the chicane, and the running order on lap 7 is Irwin, Swan, Joey Dunlop, Stephen Cowell and Raymond Campbell. So down the back straight it's Alan Irwin. Swan has made up some ground, but he doesn't seem to be making any more up.
Well, I think they're both trying marksmen. The race we're seeing today at Kirkiston is typically the race we've had all year in England. If you don't make a good start, you're not in the running, and it's very much 100% from the word go.
Into Deaders once again, it's Irwin and Swan still chasing him really hard. It's Alan Irwin in the front. In second place it's Ray Swan, and in third place it's Joey Dunlop. And they're across towards Fisherman's. The back wheel of Alan Irwin's Honda bumping. Down to the chicane once again. Irwin holds the lead. It's still Swan in second place. We're looking now, Joey seems to have disappeared. We've got a cut there of Stephen Cull, I think the new third place man. So it could be Cull is in third place, but it's Alan Irwin inside the back marker. Swan being bumped there as they come out of the hairpin. Joey Dunlop there in third place on the Gemini Honda. Stephen Cull was holding fourth place. Joey gives a little twitch. Mick.
In fact, Irwin seems to have stretched his lead a wee bit. I'm quite surprised because obviously with Swan so close behind him, he's obviously getting very good signals and he's standing the pressure very well. Joey maybe is coming a wee bit closer, but with it being towards the end of the race, I don't think Joey's going to be in the picture.
Alan Irwin very comfortable there. He swings it right once again. Round he comes. He's on the last lap. He down into the chicane for the last time. Swan closing slightly. The back markers could make the difference in the hairpin on the last lap. And there he goes, right and left. He has a quick look over his shoulder there to see where Swan is. Gets himself tucked down. As little wind resistance as possible as he heads into the hairpin for the last time. On the brakes now, and he certainly made up a little bit of ground in Swan there. The back marker in front of him will not make any difference. He's round the hairpin safely. Swan is rounded safely as well. He's on his way to the finishing line. And the flag, and it's a win for Alan Irwin with Ray Swan in second place. Alan Irwin, the man who won the Embassy here last week, wins the Unlimited here this afternoon with second place man Ray Swan and Joey Dunlop picking up third place. So the great race for Alan Irwin. He wheelies, we go to the break and we'll be back with the 350 action.
Coming out onto the circuit now for the second leg of this Neil Robinson 350cc race. The positions then at the end of opening lap, remember, or the end of the opening leg, I should say, was first Joey Dunlop. He gets 15 points. Second was Robert Dunlop, who has 12 points. Third is Alan Irwin, who has 10. Fourth then was Ray Swan with 8. Fifth was Jimmy Witham, the second Englishman there with 6, followed by numbers in 6th spot. Then it was Mark Farmer. He has 5 points. Johnny Ray finished 7th and he has 4 points.
Okay, brother.
8th is Stephen Cull with 3 points. 9th was Jeff McConnell with 2, and 10th was Kenny Irons with 1. So that's the points then at the end of that opening lap, or the opening leg of this race. The points will be awarded then again similarly throughout this second race, and in the event of a tie at the end of it, the higher position in this race that is going out will decide. So that is to say that if, say, next time out Robert Dunlop should win and Joey finish second, they would both finish on 27 points, but Robert would get the verdict and win the Neil Robinson overall because he actually won the second race. So in the event of a tie situation, the tiebreaker is decided on the positions of the second race. So there the riders just making their way up onto the line. Number 4 there, Ray Swan, the man who was the highest placed Englishman. Jamie Witham, number 69, next up. Other riders there in the front row, Alan Irwin, I just noticed moving up alongside there, right in the extreme left of your picture. Alongside him, it's number 8, Kenny Irons. And I think that's number 40, Stephen Cull, next in there. Mick Grant, I can tell you, has made it up here beside me. So, Mick, you're obviously looking forward to a good race this time.
That's right. Completely out of breath. I've had to come at least 30 yards. I'm glad to see young Whittam, whatever bother he had in the first leg is now okay. And I'd just like to see English hearts put a bit happier by Race 1 being up there and having a good start and mixed it with the Irish fellas.
Well, thank you, Mick. There and all of your proteges, of course, they're right in shot now. Number 69, Jamie Whittam on the Suzuki. You're obviously expecting good things from Jamie.
That's right, and he's just started riding good towards the back end of the season. Towards the beginning of the season, he had quite a few crashes, and in fact, the reason we put number 69 is because if he crashes, we still can read the number from a long way off because it's the same both ways up.
Well, he's had a few crashes this year, but let's hope he won't have any here this afternoon. Number 3 then, Joey Dunlop there sitting alongside him. They're just waiting to get the signal to go out onto this warm-up lap. A few machines there you can see right in the background coming through. The signal there, and certainly they're a good view of all the many fans that we have here at this Neil Robinson Memorial Short Circuit. Basking, well, it's still down a little bit now. We had sunshine earlier on, but racing conditions just a bit nigh on perfect.
Actually, looking around at the circuit, seeing the crowd and seeing the quality of the racing, you know, wouldn't it be a smashing place to have the World Championship of the F1 TT?
Well, Mick, you raised a mute point there. Certainly after the draw this year, there's been some speculation as to the future of road racing in Northern Ireland, but at a meeting last week, the Ulster Centre decided that they're going to continue to permit it at the moment, and I say it looks as though it'll be all systems go and draw it again next year. But certainly a lot of people, myself included, think that it's time we move towards perhaps not a circuit here at Kirkuson, but a proper circuit somewhere in the province. But here's the leaders coming through. Number 8, Race. Kenny Irons, they're leading them through, and I think we're going for 2 warm-up laps here in this one. They had 2 warm-up laps earlier on today. There's 17, Robert Dunlop going through.
In actual fact, the reason they're going for 2 warm-up laps is that although the circuit does seem quite abrasive and it's wearing the tyres quite hard, there's a bit of a lack of grip, and because you've got the lack of grip, the tyres don't get warm just so quick, and the feeling among the riders is that just the 1 lap is going to be dangerous for the first lap, and I'm very pleased to see that the organisers are going along with that and allowing them this just on safety grounds alone.
Well, Mick, out there we have quite a lot of machines. We have so-called super stocks, super bikes and Grand Prix machines. Could you explain the difference to the layman like myself between those bikes?
Yes, the Grand Prix machines obviously are the absolute ultimate in performance. They're very light, a lot of horsepower, quite difficult to set up. The 4-strokes are basically from road machines. Obviously there'll be a bit of a disadvantage on this particular sort of a circuit, but I do feel that the 4-stroke machine is the machine of the future, and we've certainly got a situation at the minute in the 500 Grand Prix class where there are 12 riders who are being sponsored by tobacco firms, and it's very, very expensive to compete, and privateers find it very difficult. And I think that within the next few years, 4-strokes must come in instead of 500 Grand Prix machines because it's much cheaper.
Well, thank you, Mick, there for those thoughts. But the leaders now coming up to the line. Number 2, Alan Irwin, lost out in the last lap of the first race when he was put back into 3rd position. Can he make amends this time, or will we see Joey Dunlop, as Mick has said earlier, anxious to dispel this rumour that he's only a road racer, go for victory here in this Neil Robinson Memorial Trophy race? Irwin there seems to have some sort of problems actually. Well, he pushed it forward but seems to have got it going again. Mick, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say really that Kenny Irons has had a bit of up and down sort of a day. His laps have been very quick when he's been going, and I can't help feeling that maybe in this last leg he's really going to have a go for it.
Well, Kenny Irons, of course, a Grand Prix rider, in 6th position in the French Grand Prix earlier this year. He has graduated right up through the ranks, of course, since he started, I think, in the production Yamaha classes. Isn't that true?
That's correct. Kenny's had a sort of meteoric rise, really, and I think he's had quite a difficult year this time on the Grand Prix 500 Suzuki, because he's a rider that, without really an experience on Grand Prix machines, on a brand new machine, and in actual fact the results have been very, very good, I think.
So getting ready then for the start of the 2nd leg here for the Neil Robinson Memorial Trophy. On the front row of the grid there, number 2, Alan Irwin, on the extreme left of the picture. Alongside him, number 3, Joey Dunlop. Off we go. And that looked like Jeff McConnell, who opted out there at the last minute, but down through into the first left-hander. Dunlop leads, but Irons goes round the outside. So number 8, Kenny Irons, on the 1000cc Suzuki, really jumps into the lead as they go towards Colonial 1 for the first time.
I think this 1100cc, because it's fairly standard, it'll come out of the corners very well, but maybe lose out on top speed down the back straight. And it certainly, Kenny's defying all the sort of laws of physics by braking as quick as the Grand Prix 500s, because really the weight of it shouldn't do that.
So Kenny Irons then leads as they come down into the chicane, and that was Gary Cowan actually in the 350 Yamaha who had put his nose through into second position there at one stage, but at the moment now it's Kenny Irons in the lead from Alan Irwin, then race 1, and then Gary Cowan, but Gary Cowan there been swallowed on the 350 machine as they come down into the hairpin. There we have the first 3 at the end of the opening lap. This is a 12-lap race, remember.
I saw then young Whittam's down about 10th place. I think he's having a bit of an afternoon snooze when the flag dropped.
And just there, someone went out of that race up at the hairpin. He didn't fall. He said he had mechanical problems, but unable to cite who it was. But Irwin now is in front. Kenny Irons in second position, and indeed, as I speak, we have race 1 going through into second position, number 4. So wherever number 2 leads, number 4 race 1 through in second. And just looking there, the order there at the end of the open lap, Irwin in the lead, Irons in second, Swan was in third, Joey Dunlop was in fourth, and Stephen Collett was in fifth position. And there's Dunlop, you can see the yellow helmet just coming down the chicane in fourth position. So Irwin leads, Swan is second, Irons third, Dunlop fourth, and Stephen Collett in fifth position, and Robert Dunlop, that is, in sixth spot as they get down to the hairpin for the second lap in this, the second leg of the Neil Robinson Memorial Trophy race.
I think the poor old English are getting such a hammering that we might have to have a rerun at Donington Park and Mallory.
And somebody just went straight on there in the hairpin on the brakes, but he's well out, I think, towards the Portaferry Road at the moment, and there he is doing a quick about turn. So number 2, Alan Irwin goes through. Deaders swinging through the right-hander. Now the left-hander, number 2, Alan Irwin on the McManus Honda. Goes through, 3 laps completed, remember. There's Joey Dunlop. Dunlop now trying to get through in race 1. So number 3, Joey Dunlop, he won first time out, now up to third. And remember, Dunlop and Irwin in the positions they are at the moment, if they were to finish, they would, in this order, they would finish equal in points, and Irwin would take the overall victory by virtue of the higher position in the second leg. But Joey seems determined to get second as we come towards the hairpin. Hard action on again on the brakes there, Mick, isn't it?
There's actually no difference at all between Joey's bike and race 1's on top speed though. They're absolutely dead level.
So we've actually got the 3 500 Hondas there as they come through to complete 4 laps. 1/3 distance. Out in front. Irwin in front. Kenny Irons in second position. Race 1, sorry, in second position. Joey Dunlop in third. Kenny Irons is back in fourth spot. Through the right-hander now. And then the left-hander at Colonial 2. Joey Dunlop there in the Gemini machine, and there's number 8, Kenny Irons in fourth position. But in fact, just checking there, Robert Dunlop, remember he came up from behind in the first race into second position, is actually through past Kenny Irons and is into fourth. Stephen Cull, number 24, still there in sixth. What do you think of it at this stage, Mick?
Well, I think at the minute, Joey must be thinking that rather than trying to win it, if he could just get in front of race 1, which is just about done at the minute, has he? Yeah. If he could just, if I was in Joey's place now, I'd be quite happy to keep a second place because that will give him the race overall. Obviously, if he can't get rather than anything good at this stage, second place would be quite a good effort.
So Joey, they're trying to close an Alan Irwin as we go down through into the right-hander. At Colonial, Alan Irwin goes through the left-hander. Joey Dunlop through in second position. So Joey Dunlop there in second position. Now in the little short run down to the chicane. Race 1 there, number 4 in third position, but Robert Dunlop, number 17 in the O'Kane Suzuki, is closing in again. Number 8, Kenny Irons. 4, Steve Cull in sixth position.
I don't know where Robert's crept up from, but he certainly come up fairly smartly, and maybe, you never know, he could just be in there.
And there he is, he's gone through into third position. Can he make it? Robert Dunlop through into third on the inside of number 4, race 1. So 17, Robert Dunlop through to third position. Race 1 drops now to fourth, and up ahead of the pair of them it's still
There are still 5 laps to go, so maybe Robert just has enough time to get up there at the front.
So Irwin coming through in the lead. Number 3, Joey Dunlop behind him in second position. And there's Robert Dunlop coming through now into third position. Race 1 still there in fourth, and Joey really was running wide there. He was right up on the pavement.
You can see Joey there looking behind him, and he is thinking of really consolidating the second place, I do feel.
Well, that, as you said, Mick, of course, will give him the overall victory in this one, but I have a funny feeling that Joey will still be a little bit anxious to try and dethrone Alan Irwin. He probably wants to prove that Joey is keen of everything rather than just keen of the roads, but across the line they come. There's number 8, Kenny Irons, still in 5th position ahead of the 6th place man. Number 24, Stephen Cull. So the first 6 at this stage of the race in the lead. Irwin, 2nd is Joey Dunlop, 3rd is Robert Dunlop, and then in 4th position it is Race 1, 5th is Kenny Irons, and 6th is Stephen Cull.
I think the way that young Robert's charging through, Joey may have no option but to try and get in the lead.
Well, you can rest assured that certainly there'll be no brotherly love lost between them at that stage. They're very friendly off the track, but out there are 2 men racing each other, and 17 Robert there is really beginning to close in again, just exactly as he did in the opening leg. He's coming up through and getting ready to pounce, and Joey looks as though he's going to have a go at Irwin going into the hairpin. The wheels patted in Alan Irwin's back wheel right in the air. That must have been mighty hairy Mick in that situation.
That's right, but Irwin does seem absolutely excellent on the brakes. Quite honestly, watching, it looks a lot harder than it feels, but even so, it's not just such a good position to be with the back wheel off the floor.
So down they come into this fast left-hander through Deaders Dip. 5 laps now to go in this race, 7 laps completed. Alan Irwin in the lead, Joey Dunlop in second position. The 2 yellow helmets, first is Irwin, second is Dunlop, numbers 2 and 3.
You can certainly see with Joey now, he just started riding it more aggressively, and I think it's got in his mind that he's going to pass Irwin and try and win it.
And there's the 3rd place rider coming into view, number 17, Robert Dunlop. And Robert Dunlop closing in again. And Joey again, the wheelie paw in the air there as he goes out off that right-hander in the chicane. Now the long back straight. This is where Irwin in the back wheel in the air last time coming down in. Can Dunlop catch him this time? Irwin looking as though he's getting a little bit deep. Has he got in too far? Joey Dunlop sneaks through on the inside. Oh, magnificent stuff there from Dunlop, but Irwin still holds him as they come out.
Irwin very cleverly then came extremely tight to the right-hand side and actually took Joey out. And I must admit, I would have done exactly the same thing in his position.
Across the line then. And look at this. Joey's going for the inside as they go towards Colonial, and Irwin must give. He surely must give this time. Joey Dunlop goes into the lead on lap 8, going through the right-hander at Colonial. So Dunlop out in front of the Gemini machine, and Irwin in second. A good overtaking manoeuvre there, Mick.
Yeah, I don't think Joey liked the manoeuvre that Irwin did, cutting him out, coming out the hairpin there, and he just said, look, get behind me.
So Robert Dunlop then, still there in 3rd position, number 17. The order behind Robert Dunlop still the same. In 4th position, number 4, Race 1. In 5th position, number 8, Kenny Irons. And in 6th position, number 24, Stephen Cull.
They're actually on lap 9, so it's anything goes for the last 3 laps.
Yep. And just checking there that your man, Jamie Witham, is he is back in 7th position, Mick. So Jamie Witham on the Suzuki back there in 7th position, but with the race leaders now, number 3, Dunlop, leading number 2, Alan Irwin out of the hairpin. 17, Robert Dunlop coming through there in 3rd position. Number 4, Race 1 coming through in 4th. Number 8, Kenny Irons coming through in 5th. And there the machine coming up towards you, number 26, Stephen Cull in 6th position. Now back with the leaders. As they've come through, they've completed 9 laps now in this race, and still going through Colonial 2, now heading out towards the long right-hander at Fisherman's. A very, very tricky corner, and Irwin looking as though he could close in there and Joey. Now the quick sprint down the chicane. What would your tactics be if you were Irwin at this stage, Mick?
Well, I think Irwin throughout the day shown that he's the best guy in the brakes that are in the start and finish straight, and all he must do now, I think all he can hope to do really, is to be right on Joey's tail on the last lap from the hairpin. I don't think he should do it at the minute. Joey's obviously worried because he keeps looking back, and maybe that could be a mistake at this stage.
Yes, I thought for a moment there as though Joey was making some sort of signal to him as to which side he wanted to take him out of the hairpin, but I don't imagine he was. But up they come now to complete 10 laps, so 2 laps to go at the end of this one. 17, Robert Dunlop there in the O'Kane Suzuki going through in 3rd spot. Number 4, Race 1 going through in 4th position. Joey Dunlop, though, looking as though now he's going to take it.
I think I maybe put money in Irwin for the last lap, but what Irwin's got to do now is actually get as close to Joey as he can to come out of the chicane on the last lap.
Oh, and Alan Irwin.
Maybe not do what he's doing there, because he's going to lose a lot of time doing that.
Alan Irwin there trying to go around the outside of Fisherman's, and that I would have thought was a wrong move, because Fisherman's is a very, very long corner, and the man on the inside can virtually hold you out. Interestingly, at this stage of the race, Alan Irwin stayed in second position. If he stays there, will actually take second overall ahead of Robert Dunlop, because they'll finish in the same number of points. But now number 3, Joey Dunlop, coming out off the hairpin.
This is what it all counts now, because this is the start of the last lap. And Irwin must just get on the back wheel of Joey if he's going to do it, and he must be in a position to outbrake him on the final running down the back straight to the hairpin.
Well, just as they go through, and I'm just noticing it further back there, actually race 1 is beginning to put the pressure on Robert Dunlop for 3rd position. So now, on the last lap of this race, number 3, Joey Dunlop going across the line, number 2, Alan Irwin in 2nd position. So heading down towards the chicane.
This corner is the most important one of the race now for Irwin. If he can just get out of here a wee bit quicker and get alongside Joey, he could just win it.
So now we go towards the hairpin for the last time. Dunlop checks. Irwin comes alongside, but remember, even the win for Irwin in this race won't give him overall victory. But it doesn't look as though he's going to do it. He's got up the outside. He'll then try and switch across to the inside of the run, and he's round the outside. But is it going to be Irwin, or is it going to be Dunlop? The car is on, and surely it must be Dunlop. Look at Irwin Snakes. Up to the line they come. But the winner of the second leg, and the winner of the Neil Robinson Trophy race overall, number 3, Joey Dunlop, number 2, Alan Irwin, second. A fantastic race, Mick.
That was an incredible move by Irwin. I mean, there's no way in the world he could have got around the outside, and he did do. And Joey just took him wide, and of course, going a bit wider, he hit the bumps, he got to knock the power off, and Joey just made it to the line. But what an incredible move.
So in 3rd position there, it was number 17, Robert Dunlop in 3rd. Number 17, Robert Dunlop in 3rd position. Number 4, race 1 in 3rd. So there's the positions in the second leg of the Neil Robinson Trophy. First, Joey Dunlop. Second, Alan Irwin. Third, Robert Dunlop. And overall, provisionally, I make it its first
To Kirkeston, and confirmation of the result in the second leg of the Neil Robinson Memorial Race. First, Joey Dunlop. Second, Alan Irwin. And third, Robert